There's so many women who still play shit down. And it's not because they're being humble, it's because they're fucking scared. A lot of the time they're fucking scared. They're scared of being sacked, or they're scared of like having people pick on them or sabotage them somehow. And it is the sabotage we need to look out for. So yes, pretty fucking punishment is a thing. Pretty privilege is bullshit. People, welcome back or to another video. For those of you who are both old and new around here, a very warm welcome back. I am super grateful to have you come join us here for another video. There are a lot of people now talking about pretty privilege, but there aren't enough people talking about pretty punishment. So in this video, I'm going to be touching up on all things pretty privilege and how it's not really a privilege if you think about it. Anytime in this video where I mention the word pretty or beautiful, take of that what you will. What I mean when I am mentioning that is kind of like socially deemed, attractive, good looking, pretty, whatever you want to call it. First and foremost, the idea of pretty privilege and how people think that just because you are socially deemed attractive, that you have all the doors open for you, you have all the opportunities awaiting you, you literally have people at your feet offering you opportunities and fuck knows what else. You like apparently earn more money. And one thing that really bugs me, probably out of all the things about pretty privilege and the assumptions that come with it, is the way that people think that your life is so perfect. That is the main thing which annoys me. The fact that people think that your life is so perfect, you never have down days, you never feel sad about anything, you never feel shit about yourself. People see you as one-dimensional. If you are socially deemed attractive, this is why so many people get triggered when you're more than the so-called pretty face. I'm sure you've heard that saying before, oh, she's not just a pretty face, right? Because we've heard the saying like, because the assumption is when you are so-called pretty or beautiful, attractive, is that, oh, well, you can't be smart with it. Well, you can't be kind. She's got to be a bitch. So then all these other assumptions and all these other barriers, these invisible barriers are suddenly put up for this person. Everyone thinks that your life is so easy if you're attractive. They think that it automatically gives you a get out of jail free card everywhere. And you know what? Maybe in one or two situations, it might work. But no one is talking about pretty punishment. And that is that society will try and humble you, okay? Because without you even realizing what they're doing. But this is so true, is that people will try and knock you down a peg or two. Even if you haven't done anything wrong, all you've done so-called wrong is actually just being yourself. So you can walk into a room full of different people, and if you are deemed socially attractive, then there will be a select number of people in that room who will do whatever they can to pick pieces out of you. So if you make an error, it will be like a big deal. And there will always be those people who try to bring you down because they assume that you're not a nice person. There's this one specific incident which happened to me very many years ago. I was like really early 20s, and I was going into work one day and I was working in a team with another girl. I've never worked with her before. And at the end, anyway, we did our day's job. We were going home. Anyway, she comes up to me and she's like, oh my God, you're actually a really nice person. And I was like, okay, thought I was as well. She goes, no, you don't understand. Like, I really thought you were a bitch. She goes, when I saw your name on the list and you were going to be in my group today, she was like, I was dreading it because I thought you were such a nasty person. I was like, what the fuck gave you that idea? She was like, oh, it's just something about you, just like the way your face. And I was like, okay, well, at least to be fair to her, she didn't mince her words. I shock quite a lot of people when they realize how kind and down to earth I am. Not all of them admit it, but a lot of them are really shocked by it, because they assume I'm going to be a bitch, or I'm going to be nasty, or I'm going to bitch about people, or I'm going to gossip. Another way that this can manifest into your reality is through social media. Now, let's face it, in this day and age, we're all living life pretty much through a screen anyway. So what you'll find is on social media, even if you're only on social media to be so-called social, you'll find that people don't really interact with your posts. They can't be interacting with your posts because secretly they're a hater and secretly they're competing with you, because deep down, they haven't got to know you yet. They're just judging you from the outside. They assume that you're a horrible person just because you're attractive, or just, and even worse, if you have confidence attached to it. Like if you're an attractive person and you're naturally confident, you're naturally energetic, you're quite extroverted, you're happy to talk to people, you're happy to talk to strangers, oh my God, you will have people come down on you 10 times harder. Because what's going on in their brains is like, oh, you can't be all of these things. There's too much positivity here. You can't be attractive and kind and nice and have confidence. So what they'll do is, especially on social media, is they will watch you, but they won't say a fucking thing. They will know every single little fine detail about you. Have a look on your Instagram. If you have Instagram, they'll be the first person in your fucking stories. Okay? They'll be the first person who, when you see them in person next, they'll be like, oh, I saw your post on Instagram, on Facebook, and oh, I saw your pictures from such and such place and such time. That's funny because you haven't reacted to anything. They won't like anything. They won't share anything. I found this happened when I ran my first ever online fitness business. Now that I look back, I'm like, okay, now it's all starting to make sense. No matter how many times I have said to people that my life isn't perfect, I have even shared on here that I had a nervous breakdown back in January this year. I even took a break from YouTube. I literally shared my story with my CBT. Despite all of these things, people still don't fucking get it. And don't even think about being a strong person as well. Oh my days, you have absolutely got nothing off other people. Because if they assume or they think you're strong, you're just gonna, you know what? You just need to get used to being on your own. Nobody's coming to help you at all. The most recent one, I would say, when I worked in the personal training industry, and that's because there is such a load of misogyny in that industry. If you are a woman in the personal training world, good luck. Say your fucking prayers, because fuck me. Now looking back on all my experiences, I'm like, oh, okay, I actually wasn't the problem. It's just systemic. I used to work online and in person. So when I was doing online personal training, I would obviously put content out on Facebook. And it doesn't, even if you didn't have money to buy a service, you can support someone's business by liking and sharing their content. No one's asking you to get your fucking Amex card out. It's so simple to support people these days. You don't have to have a lot of money in the bank. It's a simple like, comment, share, subscribe, etc. That's literally it. But what people would do is they would just watch silently. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing, because some people are silent watchers and they always will be. However, when it's with intent of trying to humble someone or bring them back down a few pegs or so, this is malice. This is literally evil. Trying to actually shit on someone's business when they are literally pouring their heart and soul into it. That's what I did with my personal training business, which what led me actually to a lot of my burnout, is that I literally tried so fucking hard in the 5 years that I was in that industry. I worked triple as hard as my male counterparts, and I didn't get halfway as far as they did. Because you need to remember, it's not just misogyny that's coming from men, it's also internalized misogyny that's come from women. So how women view you as a female personal trainer is very, very different. It's not just how men look at you and thinking you're so much weak or anything like that. It's also how other females are viewing you. I have got so many examples of this. For the sake of this video, I don't even know which ones to share. But one of the main examples was the whole liking, commenting, subscribing, etc. I used to get people in my DMs on Facebook who would be like singing my praises. Oh my God, that was such an amazing piece of content. You write so well. You know, you really understand people well. Really like deep compliments, not just, oh, you look good in this picture. You really know your client well. And I did. I know for a fact, without being arrogant, I know I write fantastically. And yet that person would never sing my praises in public. So they wouldn't publicly comment and say, oh, this is a great piece of content, or fantastic, or thanks for sharing the tips, or anything like this. It would always be in my DMs, and I'd always be like, in my head, just think like, okay, why can't you sing my praises in public? Why can't you praise me in front of people? Why does it have to be behind a screen, behind closed doors? And again, I used to just think it was down to the person. I used to just think like, maybe they're not confident. Another example is of this. Now, when I was building up testimonials, once you finished with a client, Of course, if you had a great experience with them and they got the result that they wanted, you'd ask them politely, and any business will tell you this is normal. You'd be like, can you just would you mind writing a quick testimonial of both your experience and, you know, your result, etc. Any business owner will understand, whether you have a product or a service, how important testimonials are for someone's business. I literally remember having to ask people several times. And again, it would be people who would sing my praises to me. They'd send me personal messages. So they were constantly like, Jade, you make me feel so amazing. I've slept so amazing. I feel so much better about myself. My clothes fit me better. I'm having, you know, I'm so much more confident with my partner, etc. All of this. They'd always say it in text. When it comes to like, okay, do you mind writing a testimonial about all of these things that you've literally messaged me? Because I've got the evidence right here. All of this, do you mind putting it in a testimonial? I personally didn't like screenshotting messages personally from clients because sometimes they were personal. I'd rather say to them, right, if you don't mind writing a testimonial, and you can put it in your own words. This is where the behavior was different to what they would say. They would say A, and then they would do B. And I didn't really understand it. And before you say, oh, it's probably because they didn't get the result they wanted, well, I had the facts and the evidence right in front of me, as in, like, you know, statistics don't lie. Because that's the good thing about personal training, is like, statistics don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers are facts. They're in front of you. So then they would like drag their feet. I'd have to remind them several times. And yet I'd have like male PTs in the gym who would, they'd ask a client like, oh, do you mind writing me a testimonial? They'll fucking do it there and then. I shit you not, they would do it there and then. And one day I sat down with one of my male colleagues, and I was like, oh, do you mind just sharing some of your fucking techniques? Like, are you doing something magical? Are you like giving them money? Like, what is it that you're doing where people just seem to respect you more, like, instantly? And they'd give me some pointers, and I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks so much. They were really helpful. There's me thinking like, oh yeah, they're being so helpful, when actually looking back, it's just because they had a dick, right? You were in front of me because you had a dick. That is literally it. Okay, and I put this to experiment once. In fact, more than once. I experimented this myself. I actually mirrored the way my male colleagues spoke and interacted with their clients. And I thought to myself, right, seeing as there's something wrong with what I'm doing, or, you know, I could improve, which I'm always happy to do, happy to have constructive criticism. I'm more than happy to improve. I tested that out. And it didn't fucking work. You know why it didn't work? Because people were then moaning, oh, you're not very feminine, you're not very this, we want you to be more empathetic, we want you to be more this, we want you to be more that. But when I'm more that, you don't fucking like it. Okay, so tell me what gives. Like, which one is it? Because this is getting boring now, like hella fucking boring. And for the life of me, I went through it in my head time and time and time again. Like, the self-criticism during that time was at an all-time high. It's probably one of the main contributors to the decline in my mental health. Once I left the industry, I decided to have, I think I had about a month off in between, where I just needed to reset. Because working 5 years in the personal training space really, really took it out of me, like really badly. And I didn't realize how bad it was, because I just then, obviously I got like a job offer like a month later or something. So I just threw myself into that, not realizing that I hadn't quite recovered from the burnout of that job. And that's probably what led me to what happened this year, is that I didn't quite rest as much as I did. And I self-reflected. I looked back and I was like, right, what could I have done better? Like, obviously I just want to move on, but I also want to self-reflect so I can improve. And I went through things with a fine-tooth comb. And yes, while I pinpointed things that I obviously could have done better, I put it down to the fact that there were certain factors which were simply out of my control that I could not have done any better at. And one of them was just the general kind of how people perceive you. And I know there's obviously a lot of sexism still out there, and it's not just in that industry. I'm guessing it's the same kind of in medicine, in science, in engineering. Let me know in the comments down below if you've had this experience before. It's not so much just that you're a female in a male-dominated industry. It's that if you are socially deemed attractive, or you kind of keep yourself in shape, which obviously I do, and I did for that job. It would be a bit awkward if I didn't. It's just 10 times worse. I just found the experience that I had, the way people spoke to me was very different. I think it's called the glass cliff theory or something like that. I'm going to put something here because I'm going to research it afterwards, and then I'm going to put the information here. Where, and there's like difficult clientele or the business is in a difficult place, what they do is they hire a woman to deal with it so that they basically set her up for failure. And what I noticed happen is towards the end, like after it had been about 3 years of me doing in person, this was like after lockdown lifted and we went back to gyms and stuff, I got an opportunity to work in a really big gym and I was the only female there. I was consistently handed difficult customers. Consistently. I mean, difficult clients. Now, what would happen is when I first interviewed at this gym, they said to me that we put you together with the client depending on if we think you're going to get on. We're not just going to throw any client at you. That is why I took the job, because I will not work with anyone. And I made that very clear in my online personal training as well. I did not work with anyone. I used to turn people away, especially if they were showing signs of either they're going to like not be coachable or anything like that. So I took the job on the basis that if I can have some level of choice on who I train, if I feel like I can't help someone, I will not take them on, because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair on anyone. That's not fair on them or me. I was consistently handed clients that were not a good fit for me. And I would express my concerns to my male manager. I would say, this person is not a good fit for me. These are the reasons why. And I'd literally list it. And it wasn't just like, oh, we clash. It was literally like, I can't help this person. Now, all the personal trainers in that gym, they all had like a specific thing that they were kind of better at. Obviously, we all had the same base knowledge and the same kind of qualifications. But for example, one person was really good at fat loss and one person was good at body composition. And one person was really good at performance. For example, I was really good at performance, like getting people a result in a race or something, or runners. I took on runners because they used to come to me and say, I want a PB. And I'd be like, right, tell me where you are now, where you want to be. I loved the performance side of things. I didn't really care about aesthetics too much. I cared about performance. They would consistently hand me people who just wanted to diet hard and get as skinny as possible. I can't work with people like that personally, because I just find, I mean, don't get me wrong, most people do want that, but they made it clear to me. They were like, no, we're only going to match you if we think you could get on. What I found them starting to do is, it was if they got someone a bit difficult or a bit, like during the sales process, if they were being a bit of a Karen, let's be honest, they would instantly give them to me. They'd be like, oh, sorry, the boys can't do it because of their like timetable or this or that. And at first I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, no worries at all. I used to just like take it on the chin and be like, right, it's a challenge. Let's go, guys. And because I'm naturally really motivated and really like high energy, they used to fucking come down so hard on me. If I made the smallest little mistake, that was it. I didn't hear the fucking end of it. I'd be like the butt of everyone's joke. Let me tell you about the time that we had a PT challenge. And the only reason I'm sharing this right now is because I have the fucking evidence for it. And the reason I have the evidence is because obviously I will be called a liar, because duh. So we had a PT challenge one day. Bearing in mind, this was between 5 men and me, right? Now the challenge was obviously set according to body weight. So yes, the men did have to lift heavier and I had to lift according to my body weight. And then you had to do a series of like obstacle course around the gym. It was kind of like let's just say like a CrossFit type thing, not on that level, but of that caliber. And whoever got the fastest time won. Guess who got the fucking fastest time? Me. You know why? Because I'm a fucking endurance athlete. And that is what I kept saying to them. This is what I do. This is my speciality. Give me people who want to do this. I do it myself well. I can get them to do it well. No, but because I was the only female, I got the Slimming World clients. I got the, oh, let's just do a circuit, a really fun circuit. No, we're constantly like made to be this entertainer almost. Oh, you need to boost the morale. I don't fucking need to boost anything. Like this is what came down hard on me within the industry, is like, I was always that one who had to be the motivator or had to increase the energy somehow when the guys could walk around being like macho and moody. Why am I having to deal with your mood and then you're looking at me as some sort of like emotional espresso shot? Like, fuck you. Well, ever since the day that I beat them all in the PT challenge, that was it. It was downhill from then, because I have never known so much salt in my life. The saltiness was, from there onwards, it was game over for me. I basically put my own nail in the coffin that day by winning that personal trainer challenge, unfortunately. And this is why so many women hold back in any job, but specifically if you're a woman watching this and you are in a male dominant industry, you'll find this even worse, and you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. This is why women hold back, because they don't want to have that experience. They don't want to have the kind of over-explaining themselves afterwards or playing it down. There's so many women who still play shit down. And it's not because they're being humble, it's because they're fucking scared. A lot of the time they're fucking scared. They're scared of being sacked, or they're scared of like having people pick on them or sabotage them somehow. And it is the sabotage we need to look out for. So yes, pretty fucking punishment is a thing. Pretty privilege is bullshit. Whatever side you see this on, I want you to not dim your light, because I've stopped doing that now, because I'm so sick to my back teeth of having to cut myself into small fucking pieces so that other people can't fucking choke. I'm so sick of having to walk into a new office block and having to shrink myself just to ensure that people don't get the wrong impression of me or the wrong idea about me. I am so sick to my back teeth of being extra polite to insecure people, because I can sense that they're insecure, and I can sense from their body language and from their energy that they have an instant dislike to anyone who is a little bit more confident than them, or who has a little bit of a brighter light. And when I say brighter light, I just mean in terms of energy. If you're an insecure person, go fucking work on yourself. It is so easy these days. You don't even need to have a lot of money. Just Google something on YouTube, or like search for something. Buy a fucking cheap ass book. There's so many in like cheap bookshops, in charity shops. You can literally get them for like fucking 50p. There's literally no fucking excuse as to why you're going round making other people's life hell because you simply can't stand yourself. It has taken me such a long time to actually not blame myself, and to say for once out loud, I'm not the problem. It's taken me years, because I'm telling you what, from the day I was old enough to understand all of this shit to now, I've been blaming myself. I've been like, where can I improve? Oh, I need another self-help book. Oh, I need a different therapist. Oh, I need this, I need that. I need to talk a bit nicer. I need to show more empathy. I need to, dim my light and make sure no one's insecure around me. No, not anymore. I am not doing that anymore, because I have wasted years. I wish I'd noticed this earlier. And if you're watching this and you're much younger than me and you're finding you're possibly experiencing this or have done, you are actually not the problem. And I am so angry at myself still. And I know I'm going to eventually drop this, but at the moment I'm still really angry. I'm so angry at blaming me. I am so angry at the fact that I looked inwards and was like, you are such a horrible person. I let these people make me believe that I actually was a horrible person, when actually I look back on all the things I've said and done. And whilst I'm not saying I'm an angel or perfect in any way, there is absolutely nothing that led to me having the experiences that I've had, especially as of the last 8 to 10 years. So please, if you are watching this, do not blame yourself. You are not an issue. You are not a problem. You are being made to be looking like a problem. And it's usually just because of something you have. So either you have a great energy, you're really motivated, you're really happy all the time, or you're quite positive, or you're quite easy to talk to, or you get on well with other people. It's not always, when I say attractive or pretty, it's not necessarily always, oh, it's just the way you look or you've got a nice body or anything like that. I'd like to say thank you for joining me on this journey. If you haven't already, give this video a massive thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.